As they say down in Maisie, where I grew up, and by the way, I grew up in a very blended community. Out on Brushy Creek, there was a strong group of our neighbors were African Americans. There were strong Native Americans. There was a few others sprinkled in. There was one Jewish family. There was a few Amish, and so the common denominator, we were all poor. And so, but the only segregation really was we all went to school together. Even in those days, we all went to Maisie School or Shoto. It didn't matter. After you got out of Maisie, you had to go to Shoto or Wagner. But we had a very blended community. My mom and dad's best friends were Native Americans and African Americans. The only segregation occurred on Sunday morning. We all went our different ways to church. Everybody had their own church. And so that was really the only segregation. But I grew up in a very special place. My dad had 100 acres, but it adjoined a 2,000-acre ranch that his brother managed. So my best friend and cousin, who was 2 months older, his name is Boyd Rice, and I wanted to mention him because we were things that we do not want to talk about that we did, but we roamed that 2,000 acres hunting and fishing, and occasionally would kill a deer on the way to school and put it in a neighbor's barn until we could get home from school. And so, but we had more fun, and but he was just one of my best friends, still is my best friend growing up. He still lives in that community, he and his wife, and we all have grandchildren and so forth. But Boyd Rice and I had a lot of fun, and that ranch was just heavenly to grow up on. Part of it now it belongs to the Parker Ranch, 1,000 acres of it, and then later they cut up 1,000 acres and divided into 5-acre tracts, and so it changed the landscape of where I grew up. But I was happy when the Parker Ranch purchased half of it and retained it, because we had a lot of good memories. And Parker Ranch is another story. We would sneak over on Parker just because it was forbidden. We had 2,000 acres. What more could we want? But we would sneak over on Parker Ranch because it was forbidden, And so that's what teenage boys did in those days.